Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm here with Ralph Middlecamp from the Society of St. Vincent de Paul. Ralph, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Great to have you here with us today.
Good, glad to be with you.
So, a lot of people are familiar with the St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. How do they fit into the larger scope of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul?
Sure. It's probably our most visible aspect
Right.
in Dane County. We've got 6 stores, and we're about to open our 7th in Sun Prairie. And so people see the stores, they see the 5 trucks around town, they call for own pickups, so they see that, or they shop with us. But it's only part of what we do. We have charitable works of housing, a very large food pantry, pharmacy. The thrift stores serve 2 functions, though. We give things away right out of the stores. Last year, about 10% of the clothing in our stores we actually give away to people. We gave about $250,000 of clothing to people in need right off the racks.
Wow.
We also give about the same amount of furniture to people after we visit their homes if they're needing that. So we give the product away, which is important to us, but we also then use the revenue we generate beyond that to support all of our other programs. About half the funds that we need to run our housing, our food pantry, our pharmacy come from the retail thrift store profits. So it's a 2 element. And it also is recycling. And it's the best use for any product is to reuse the product for its original use. And all thrift stores, including St. Vincent de Paul, have been recyclers for years.
Very cool. So speaking of your food pantry, obviously you operate a very large food pantry.
Right. Gave away about $1.5 million worth of food last year.
Why do you think there's so many people who need help with food?
Food's an interesting element of people living in poverty or on the edge. It's in a community like Madison, it's not like people need to starve, but if you think about even your own family budget, the last dollars you spend often are your food budget dollars. So we have people living close to the edge. Rents are high. There are other things they need to do. It's a city where you almost need a car to get around in. So if you've got a job or you have children to get to different events, you have to pay your utilities, you have to pay your rent, you have to pay all those other bills. And what you have left is your food budget. And if you have any little crisis at all, even if you're doing almost okay, you end up at the end of the month being short. And so we see, especially near the end of the month, our numbers go very high. So food is an element that's not discretionary, but it's one of the last things you spend on food. It's also a thing that we trust people with. Sometimes it's not giving them cash, but we know they need to eat, and to give them food, we know it'll get back to their families.
Sure. We were talking a little bit before the program started about your charitable pharmacy that St. Vincent just opened up.
Sure.
Tell us how that's going.
That's one of the unique things that we do here in Dane County with St. Vincent de Paul. It's the first freestanding charitable pharmacy in the state of Wisconsin. We were vouchering over $100,000 of prescriptions to local drugstores, to people who really needed critical drugs. They weren't taking them because they couldn't afford them. And we looked at other models that St. Vincent de Paul had around the country and decided we could actually hire a part-time pharmacist and use volunteers from the UW Pharmacy School and some retired pharmacists and actually save money by just buying the drugs. And that allowed us to expand. So where we were at $125,000 2 years ago, we've doubled that, and we're looking actually to almost $300,000 of free drugs that we give to people who have no insurance and they're below 200% of the poverty line. The Affordable Health Care Act has helped. Many people, we actually aggressively worked to get rid of business over the past year, and many of the people we were helping before have moved on to more dependable health care. So the cracks are smaller in the system, but there's still plenty of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Dane County as a whole is a fairly prosperous community. Why do you find that there are so many people around here who still need your help?
You know, probably my friends ask me the same question, and a lot of us travel in circles that we're not necessarily rubbing up against those folks, or we see them, or we see the statistics, but we haven't met them. And there are a lot of folks here that are trying hard. We've come out of a period of some trouble with employment that's getting better in Dane County, but we have factors such as the rents are high. We've got a lot of people moving to town, wanting to live in Madison, wanting to live in apartments, and the people we serve are competing with those people, so they're paying higher rents, or if they live a ways out of the community to get the lower rents, then they're paying higher gas mileage. So things like food, medical expenses are right on the edge. We also find some people who maybe have fixed incomes, but some of those fixed incomes haven't kept pace with the real cost of living here in a community like Madison.
Sure. Well, Ralph Middlecamp, I want to thank you so much for being a part of our show today. And you can find out more by checking out St. Vincent de Paul's website. We'll be right back with more Talk of the Town, where we will be talking about rugby. Stick around.